Gentlemen, boys, and girls in that technicolor rainbow between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Weekend Herb.
And it's your latest ever, Mr. Petty.
Are we live?
Yes.
Baby.
Just want to say your name. Thank you guys for joining us here once again on Blerds and Whiskey Live. We got a great show lined up for you as always. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the video. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed your weekend so far as it comes to an end. Gentlemen, if you will, tell us what you're drinking.
I'm drinking on that Old Faithful for me. Great beer, Heineken.
I mean, absolutely give up on life, Heineken.
Don't judge me like you always do. What are you drinking, late man?
I'm drinking a whiskey sour I just finished making. Fresh.
Really?
Why am
All
I
right.
sad? Why am I sad?
Oh, shit.
Wait.
There I go.
Wait.
Am I there?
Hey, Rita.
You are.
What do you Rita, welcome back.
Yo, why am I?
What are you
What's
drinking?
going on? Water. I'm drinking water.
Blasphemy. Hi, Rita. I didn't know you
What's
was going to
that?
be on this week. What's going on?
Cam knew. EO knew.
Yeah,
You just
yeah. By
didn't
the way,
know.
that's what I forgot to say. Damn it! All right, my bad. Yo, Rita's gonna be on today's episode. She actually found we actually got cleared the schedule for her. So yeah, surprise.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Rita.
On water and pain meds. That's what I'm drinking.
I remember those days. Whiskey.
Why
It's
am I
time for
on to the
Oxycontin.
side?
Those are some good old days.
And it's back.
I don't know what this is. It's a some shit I can't pronounce, and naproxen, and muscle relaxers. I'm one of those too. Forgot about that. So
You definitely can't drink. Definitely.
So I'm on water. Yeah.
Medication.
All right.
Is that what?
So by the way, y'all, the eagle has dropped the football in the nest.
What?
Only knew.
That is code for off-camera guy.
All right.
Is it my go to say what I'm drinking?
We're waiting on your story, man.
Gather around, children.
All right. So real quick, take a trip with me, if you will, into the history of mystery. Actually, no, it's pomegranate Ciroc and blackberry wine.
Dang, Rita threw them all kinds of off, huh?
Okay.
It's like,
all
yeah.
right.
Go ahead.
All right. Were you done with your
comment section
tale of? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, surprise, Shawty. Okay, all right. Anyway,
surprise, Shawty. That's how you're supposed to say it.
Around. Whatever. Going back to Old Faithful of mine. I actually got the Jameson Stout Edition. Doing that, and I'm combining it with some good old Dr. Pepper. That's where I'm going this week. So yeah, definitely a tasty beverage. Always love that. Okay, Weekend Herb, if you will. Here's with those church announcements.
Yes. As always, Herb's Blerds. Go on, like, share, subscribe on IG and my YouTube page. OTTV. Be sure to watch prior episodes of Blerds and Whiskey and new content from OTTV, Overtime Sims himself. Guys, if you have not seen, I was on the latest episode of Head Nerds in Charge. Had fun, started late, like they always do. Their words, not mine. And we had fun on there. So if you get a chance, go and check out that latest episode. It's on their YouTube page. It's also on their Facebook page as well. So sad news happened at the Astro World Festival. So what's his name? Travis Scott had a huge festival this past weekend. It was a 3-day event, if I'm not mistaken. It was basically 50,000 people just rushing the stage, and basically a lot of people were not taking the time to just walk in and be safe. and eventually 8 people died due to them being trampled on, and also hundreds of people were injured as well. So I saw that Travis Scott put out a comment about it, basically saying, long story short, he wanted to send his prayers out to those people. I've seen videos of him actually trying to stop people, like, hey guys, chill out. Let the paramedics come in, try to help these people, because I don't know if anybody, and if you guys went to like a festival, like I went to Broccoli Fest a few years ago. It was a lot of people, not 50,000 people, but you have people just sitting in the front waiting and waiting and waiting all day. And a lot of people ain't gonna be moving back. Basically, just if somebody falls down, they're pretty much just there because nobody is this much space in between everybody. And long story short, I just want to say our prayers and condolences to the lives that were lost at that festival. Thoughts?
I mean, at what point are we gonna be done with the whole music festival thing? I feel like at this point, every couple music festival or so, we hear stories about people getting trampled, people being dehydrated, people starving to death. Somebody, like, apparently there was also some person that was walking around the crowd at this festival drugging people, like putting a syringe in people's necks with I don't know what. Like, but
people had to revive them. Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, like at what point are we gonna be done, or we gonna put some type of? Well, we got to put more regulations on these music festivals because the shit is just getting out of hand right now. Especially with everybody haven't been in the house for the past year and a half, and we can see in the way people are acting in stores and on airplanes. Nobody knows how to act right now. So like just going right back to normal really isn't a good thing. So like I think maybe we need to put kind of like we do a bad job of easing back into things in this country. And I think we kind of need to pump the brakes on stuff a little bit.
I mean,
Exactly.
We are the country of excess. We are the country of overlap and excess. There's no such thing as I'm not surprised. I don't want to be the wet blanket, but did you expect us to go any differently? Like people, first off, music festivals are not going to stop until we don't have music, and we are not going to stop having music. People are going to want to get out the house. They're going to want to do things, and they're not going to do it the right way. They're going to repetitively act on their impulses and just act like animals. And regardless of who they hurt or who they trample in the process, they just want to have their fun. Now, whether or not their fun is moral or not, that's besides the point. But I'm not surprised, it is what it is. We're not going to change. It's America.
I mean,
this is how we do things.
Anything's better than Fire Festival because that was just crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Moving on.
Everybody was like, "Where's Ja? Where's Ja Rule?"
Who gives a fuck about Ja Rule?
Save me, Ja Rule.
Moving on. WWE. Big cuts this week. Big names such as Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Karrion Kross. Guys.
Yo, all right. Can I go?
Yo,
Please,
go ahead.
please. Because first of all, like I'm actually like kind of split because I'm legit excited that Keith Lee and Karrion Kross and his wife Mia Yim, Keith Lee's fiance. I for one am glad that they are cut because now they don't have to adhere to the crap that was going on and stop and go and like the pushes like.
And he's frozen.
Keith Lee at one point, especially when the NXT versus WWE versus SmackDown and Raw, whatever, and they had like that little Survivor Series, and Keith Lee was going against Roman Reigns and was like close to beating Roman Reigns. It's like, yo, they're actually going to do something about this. And then it's like then they drop him, and then they change his theme music, and then they make him wear like pink, hot pink, and then they change for a wear, and they kind of singlet on. It's just like you're almost there and you're not, and you got me excited and you disappoint me. I'm like, yo, is this what women deal with? Like this shit is just crazy, man. It's just like you were almost there, and then you're just off, and it's like, oh my god, like. But yeah, I for one am super excited.
Walk over like you didn't say that.
that Keith Lee and Karrion Kross don't have to deal with this no more. But I did hear that some of the reasons were also COVID related because some of the people weren't vaccinated. Like Nia Jax has been very anti-vax, and then she was cut.
I'm pretty sure two of the names that got cut because they weren't vaccinated were Nia Jax and Ember Moon. But yeah, like Cam, like you said though, I'm actually excited for Keith Lee. I'm actually excited for Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. I'm actually excited for Mia Yim to actually get out there and be able to compete and not just get put in a stupid gimp mask and then hidden in the background because of a faction that they put her in that's dying from the get-go. Or everything, like you pushed Karrion Kross in NXT as almost this unstoppable force. He comes in and just wrecks everybody. Then you bring him to the main roster, put him in a gimp mask, and make him lose to Jeff drugged out Hardy. I don't understand anything, and it's all because Vince McMahon doesn't understand these people. I don't get it. Like Keith Lee literally can do stuff that people a quarter of his size can do, and Vince's response to that is, I don't get it. I hate you, old man. I can't wait till you're gone, so then I can maybe invest a little bit of time in your company. But until then, I will not. You are the worst. You are the worst. You are human leather, and I am ready for you to go, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I think I know at least one white man worse than Vince McMahon, but go off.
Nah, I do think it's funny though. Like when Nia Jax was released, everybody's like, let's say people see like Keith Lee, what? Karrion Kross, what? Scarlett Bordeaux, what? And then it's like Nia Jax. Oh, all right.
I mean, we don't have to worry about her hurting anybody anymore. She's not going to injure any other wrestlers.
And then there was like a ton of other wrestlers that barely had a cup of coffee in WWE, and they just rehired Eva Marie, made a big deal about it, and then cut her. Like B-Fab was just signed to she got transferred from NXT with the group Hit Row to SmackDown. Like they just got to SmackDown 2 weeks and then they cut her. I'm like, what? You just brought her to the main roster.
She was one of the best parts of Hit Row. They even cut out her. She sang the theme song for Hit Row, and they cut it out of her music the following. Man, listen, somebody.
And then Taya Valkyrie. So allegedly now what they're doing is they're trying to they're still pushing the youth initiative or whatever. They've been saying that since the ECW, WWE ECW days, the youth initiative. But they're trying to push younger talent, or they're trying to assign younger talent and less indie talent so that they can train and hone and roster. They're basically trying to make another John Cena. And they think they did well with John Cena. So it's like, oh, well, this program's got to work. We had a superstar named John Cena who was a virtual nobody. He had a little bit of experience, but he brought a nobody and made him into a superstar. So they're trying to get athletes and models and former football players, but they're trying to be like anyone under 25. So a lot of people that are cut are also over 30. So that over 35 people who, if they're not already an established star or main roster, they're liable to get cut.
Yeah, it's
he put out kind of like a casting call, women under 25 and under. We're looking for a physically fit women 25 and under. I'm like, wow, that's a weird cap, but okay.
It's I hate that. I mean, I actually in the beginning I did love Nia Jax, but when you botch every single wrestler and put them either on the shelf for a minute or two, you got to go at some point. I like you guys said, I'm happy that Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Mia Yim. Because they get to be free, do whether it be AEW, Impact, or any other wrestling promotion, New Japan or whatever. I'm all for it because I was longing for we got to see almost the pinnacle of what can happen between Keith Lee and Roman. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to take all that shit away. So, that's my thoughts on this bullshit. It's Vince being Vince. Okay. Moving on.
No, because I didn't get to say my part.
I also didn't get to say my part.
My bad.
Go ahead, Rita. Go ahead, Rita, because I just have a question for everybody. Rita, go ahead.
My comment is really, really slim. When is Brock Lesnar's and the Rock daughter tag team? When are they going to come out? That's my question.
According to Rick, that would be a nightmare.
We are.
I mean, they fit the mold of ex-football players and women who are 25 and under. So
you mean that formidable tag team of ghostly rocks?
I'm just asking questions that need answers. That's all.
Speaking of questions that need answers, of course, we have the two main stars, two biggest stars, in my opinion, ever released. Where do you think, hypothetically, Keith Lee and Karrion Kross will end up ultimately? So let's go around the panel and answer that question if you can. Big Herb, you go first.
AEW.
For both?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think their wives will go along with them as well, to be honest with you.
I hate the fact that everyone keeps saying AEW, to be honest, because like AEW can't sign everybody, y'all. Like they can't. It's gonna get bloated. Although I do kind of wish that Keith Lee would show up in AEW and do that shoulder check he did on Adam Cole, like he did in NXT. That gift that everyone keeps playing. He's just like, yes. He flew into the crowd. I wish that would happen. But I think he would do great in New Japan or Impact, to be honest. Like I think he would do well in Impact. He can have a good shot against Moose. Moose versus Keith Lee would be an excellent. I might start watching Impact even more.
And immediately after that match, Vince is gonna be like, "You're rehired, you and the other big Nick." Never mind. Go ahead.
So I agree with you, Cam, but wrong wrestler. Karrion Kross would be the perfect foil for Moose in Impact because like Moose already has Moose's whole thing right now is he's the big, intimidating, intelligent guy, and he needs that raw rage that Karrion Kross brings. So I think Karrion Kross would be perfect in Impact. Keith Lee can go wherever the fuck he wants, to be honest with you. Like, he can go wherever he wants to do whatever he wants to do. I mean, like, everybody knows the track record. Everybody knows who he is. And I'm pretty sure everybody was sitting there laughing at Vince McMahon when he released Keith Lee. Like, okay, dummy, sure, we'll take him. You know what I mean? Like, Keith Lee can go to New Japan Pro. He can go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and him and Mia Yim can literally go to the moon. Like, so, I like you said, AEW can't sign everybody. But I mean, I just look forward to seeing where they're going to go. I don't really have a prediction, but I just like to see where they end up at.
Okay, Rita.
Hold on. Sorry. No, go ahead, Rita. I got a follow-up question.
Okay, so to piggyback on the AEW can't sign everybody and the Raw Rage, I think they're going to start their own Fight Club. That's where they're going.
Okay.
That's my answer, and I stand beside it.
I was gonna say. So now that we asked about Keith Lee, where y'all think Nia Jax is gonna go?
Fight Club.
Camera guy just said home.
Nope. I'm going.
No, she has to play her role in Fight Club.
She gonna fight Keith Lee?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all are joking around. Y'all are fucking around and you're joking around right now. Don't be surprised when she shows up in the next fucking Hobbs and Shaw movie.
God damn it.
I could see that. I could see that.
Rock's like, I got you, cousin. Come over here.
Right.
I could see that.
But being the Scorpion Queen.
I got you, Oos. I got you, Oos. Because he only uses those vernaculars when it's convenient for him. So
I have a question though. Do you think AEW might actually have like? We all know that the Friday Rampage show is basically the tail end of the main base show. Do you think that they'll have something because they're signing all this talent? They're eventually gonna just break off to have like a Raw or SmackDown show separate, where they have all the talent on this end, all the talent on that end, and actually just have it how.
No, they're not gonna do the division thing like Raw and SmackDown.
And then they don't have to do that because all their talent doesn't have to be there all the time. Like they don't sign them to these bloated ass contracts and then make them work every day or the 24/7 shit. If you pay attention, people get weeks off in AEW. You know what I mean? Like that's how they can. That's how you have Aleister Black is still doing stuff in other promotions like Extreme Championship Wrestling. Like, and even their contracts in Impact, not Impact, Herb. Even there, like you have Matt Cardona going and doing the GCW thing and doing the death matches against Nick Gage and shit like that. You know what I mean? So wherever they go, they're going to have freedom to move around. So they don't need, the AEW doesn't really need to do that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Comments.
Wow. Did
Read
you
the
see
comment.
Chuck's?
Don't just say comments. Read the comment.
Newest member of the family is Nia Jax. She rolling up to save Ludacris in a smart car with a rocket strapped to the back.
Chuck,
We
that
paused
wasn't
the show for that.
right. That's not Chuck. You can do better.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, Chuck. Watch
Now you can move on.
Watch him try.
Moving on to the last part of the church announcements. The trailer of the Book of Boba Fett trailer has come out the other day. I believe it's supposed to be coming out.
What is your accent?
What?
I don't know. You're just talking funny, man.
Wait a minute. It's not Boba Fett. It's Bobo Fett.
Boba Fett.
F-E-T-T.
Boba and his fat asses. They're going through the galaxy and their fat asses.
The wall just keeps getting bigger, man.
Just
Just add it to
Boba Fett. Okay, all right.
add
So,
it to the-
has everybody seen the trailer for the Books of Boba Fett?
Yes.
All right.
Give me a chance
All
to
right.
recover. No, I have not read anything from that yet. I would love to see
But
the
I
trailer.
do want to see the trailer
And-
for Boba Fett. I do want to see that.
In my opinion, though,
Okay.
I think I'm one of the small minority though that never actually fell in love with Boba Fett though, because
No, you're not. I didn't.
he
fall
was
in
he
love
was
either.
cool, but like everyone is like took his lore to the next level, and then those the fandom that actually reads the books or knows the actual lore are still in love with him, and I'm over here like, I mean, I don't know, I don't know, I just never got into the. I mean, like I said, he's cool. I'm not hating on him. I'm not a big fan. Like I never did fan art, and I didn't look into him. I see people.
Agreed.
He was
I
cool,
agree with you,
and that was
man.
it.
You should read that comment on YouTube. I'll do it. Jamaica F. Words just fall out of his mouth like with dreams of escape. All right. So as far as Boba Fett is concerned, I agree with you, Ms. Petty. I was never a huge. I was a medium Star Wars fan. I know enough about the lore to have a conversation about it, but I never was a diehard. But that kind of changed with The Mandalorian, because when that came out, I decided to do a little bit more digging, a little bit more reading, and getting into the actual lore of that fandom. And Boba Fett is legit. He's that individual that you don't want to screw with. And I think they're going to do that. They're going to display his prowess and his capabilities in this show, as we've seen from the trailer. He's going to be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. But what I am most excited for is the tie-ins to The Mandalorian and potentially having changes to the future of the Star Wars franchise, where we're not just worrying about the Skywalkers and the Palpatines like we had from the past trilogies. But how do you guys feel about Boba Fett?
I would have to agree with you on that one, Trey. I wasn't a big fan either, but watching The Mandalorian definitely made me raise an eyebrow, like, But I didn't go down the rabbit hole of like researching him or anything like that, but it did spark more interest in him as a result. Prior to that, I just didn't care. But The Mandalorian definitely made me change my mind.
The Mandalorian made me more a fan of the Baby Yoda than Boba Fett, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
Hide your eggs. Hide your eggs.
Pretty much.
Genocide.
I believe I railed against the Skywalker and the Palpatine family on this show. I know what I said. I'm like anybody, I'm tired of their story and their family drama. It's just like, so these two families just make the whole galaxy go around. I'm very interested in the story of Boba Fett and how he basically is about to rise to power, taking over for after Jabba being executed and all that stuff. But this show has a bit of an intergalactic almost like a intergalactic Martin Scorsese film type of feel to it. If you look at the trailer, it feels almost like a mafia show. You know what I mean? Like where Boba is like the underboss coming up, and then he has his main hitter. I forgot her name. The assassination. Ming-Na Wen is playing. She's playing Fennec, and like there's one scene where somebody says something to Boba, and he says, she says, you know, if you just said that on the Java, he'd have fed you your tongue or something like that. And Boba says, you can speak freely, but it's in an ominous tone. Like as soon as you say something, I'm gonna shoot you right in the face. So I mean, it just I like the feel of this show. I'm actually very excited for it. I'm also very excited for the Ahsoka Tano show. Because you know that's just gonna be her episode in season 2 of Mandalorian was one of the best episodes. So I can't wait for I can't wait for either one of these shows.
And then that's Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on Boba Fett?
No, pretty much the same as you guys.
Boba Fett, you're saying it.
I said Fett. I said
No.
No. It's Fett forever now.
We're not. Blerds and Whiskey is not going to be the ones that ruin. You don't want the heat from Star Wars fans. We don't want to do that. So
I literally just said I'm not a fan of Boba Fett. That's already drawn heat from Star Wars fans. That's like saying Picard is like the 3rd best captain. Like I'll take all the heat. I'm a grown ass man.
Ooh, you didn't say that.
Oh, I did.
The thoughts and views of one Mr. Petty.
I'll do you one better. The best captain out of all of them is Sonequa Green Martin. I said it. Bring the shit on. How the Rock do that shit?
If it gets them watching our show, then fuck it. I'm for it.
They're gonna cancel it. Okay.
They're gonna cancel us because.
Okay,
cancel.
Ultimately, I think that I'm waiting for somebody in the series to make a Sarlacc joke. That's a little deep dive for you if you know what that is. Do some more research. But anyway, moving on.
That was it.
That was it. So we're just gonna move on. I don't even know how we're gonna segue to this next topic though. So we're just gonna go outright.
Just crowbar it like we do everything else.
I mean, like let's be real, y'all. Like I'm about to get serious because as we mentioned before, as Rick was mentioning before, this country is just bad. His reference is bad at easing into things. I'm just saying this country is just bad in general. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial is starting, and the judge has already stated that they don't want the words victim to describe the people who Kyle Rittenhouse shot.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cam. Murdered.
You're right. I'm sorry. Murdered. So if you can't call them victims, what can you call them? Well, apparently rioter and looter are used, even though they weren't doing that. They were protesting, but I digress. It's just that already just sets the precedent for this trial where you can't call people who are murdered victims. Like you're already setting a precedent that you don't give a damn about people already if you can't even acknowledge the fact that they're victims.
That is incredibly troubling and frustrating to me when I read that and I saw that headline. It's like you said, they're already laying the groundwork to basically give us another thing to be frustrated by and exceptionally upset about in this country as people of color and as Black people who continue to witness this stuff and realize that the justice system is not for us. It does not work with us. It is at this point, it's not even infuriating anymore. It's depressing and disheartening. You know, like it's almost like you've moved past the point to where it's just like I used to be mad all the time at this shit. So now I'm saddened and I'm terrified. You know what I mean? Because is it ever going to work for us? Is anything ever going to change? And the overwhelming answer that I constantly get is no, it's not going to change. And no, it's never going to work for us or be for us because the people in power don't want it to be. And that's so frustrating, man, because you look at the video of this little punk ass kid and he's out there with an assault rifle and he's not even in his home state. He had to get a ride in mom's soccer van to go execute Black Lives Matter protesters. Like Do you understand how frustrating and sickening that is? Like that's
And then
that
he
is
walked
so fucking
past.
troubling.
He walked past the police with the rifle and just kept on walking.
No,
and they just
he's
let his
making
ass
a
go.
hand. He was giving a hand gesture that he worked on with the police before he did this. Like, think about how insane that shit is. Meanwhile, I'm driving home. I have a front tail lights out, and I have fucking PTSD that I could possibly get killed before a fucking headlight driving home.
Yep. The world we live in.
You said like we've gotten past anger and almost saddened now because we're so used to it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I've been like this for a while. I'm numb and not saying I don't care,
Exactly.
but it's just like I'm so past anger. Like as any parent can, or like I'm so past anger that I'm just there. Like I can't describe it. Like I'm not angry anymore. I'm just there. Like I'm numb. It's like, okay, here we go again. All right. It's like, it's almost pointless to be mad sometimes. Like, that's how I feel. That's why I'm numb. Not saying I don't care. It's just that I'm so, like, numb that it's just like another day in America. Like, that's how I see it. I'm already know. I'm looking at the trial dates and stuff like that and see when the trial's going to be deliberated so I can get some time off because I know there's going to be another protest. Because I hate to say it, but y'all know he's going to get off. He's going to get a not guilty. He's not even going to get a manslaughter. He's not even going to get second degree, third degree. Hell, if there's a fourth degree, he's not even going to get that. He'll probably get at most a fine for crossing state lines with an assault rifle. That's the most you'll probably get.
And I couldn't agree more, Cam, because I mean, for me, it's just it's become normal to the point to where nothing's gonna change. And here's the thing, even if it does change, it's like, that's nice to hear, but the next one's gonna get off anyway. So I mean, it's just like it's so much shit just going on with this. It's just like, yeah, if you have white, you can pass through. If you're black, you're gonna get shot if you had that rifle in your hand. So and people will always say, well, no, it's not about. Just look at the fucking footage. He literally just shot the motherfucker in the chest. He shot another person that was trying to disarm him, and he shot another person with another gun, and he popped him in the shoulder. It's like, come on, like at some point, you're not supposed to be there. You're a minor. Why the fuck do you even have a gun going across state lines? It's disparaging. I'm like Cam said, I'm just numb to it because I don't think anything's gonna change. It's just how I feel at this point.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rita. Go ahead.
It's like, let's look at the facts. You brought a gun across state lines to a protest of people who are unarmed because your intent was to shoot people, period. Like that, like let's call a spade a spade. And because he's a minor and because he's white, we can't call these people victims. And people are going to play the card of, oh, he's just a child. And that's just how they're going to, that's how they're going to spin it. And it's like an out of body experience where you're like, okay, you have to desensitize or numb yourself. You literally have to separate yourself from the situation as a whole, as a Black person, just so that you can wake up tomorrow and live your life. That's just a fact. And we have been conditioned our entire lives since birth until the day that we die to know that we live in a world where we will always be considered less than. But people catch an attitude, or white people, I should say, catch an attitude when they see you in, Black Girl Magic shirts, Black Lives Matter shirts, things to help uplift our community. And they don't look at it that way. They look at it as if we're trying to say we're better than you. No, we're trying to say we're equal. But you will never see it that way. And so the only people who are going to be our cheerleaders is our own people.
The reason why they see it that way, Rita, is because if us showing proud or trying to uplift Black people is like in spite of, like fighting from the ground up,
Right.
to fight up, to punch up, like, to be proud of Black representation, to be proud of a Black person achieving something, because we don't have these victories.
Right.
The reason why
But you snatch our culture from us.
But the reason why they
and you make it your own. I'm sorry, but that's what they do.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why they see us doing that as, oh, you think I'm better than you, is because when they show pride in a white person doing something, or when they show white pride, or when they show white power, it's a superiority thing, as opposed to like being proud thing, or as fighting from the ground up thing. So that's the cultural difference between, like, when someone says Black power, is because, yo, we're fighting for something. White power is trying to sustain where we are in the hierarchy and to be above.
So this is the thing I never understand about that, and this is the thing that pisses me off about talking to white people and trying to have this debate with white people. White power, the saying, the phrase, the encouragement of it, has a history of hatred, violence, and terrorism. That is the history behind it. That is the connotation behind it. Whenever anybody says Black power, it's about literally trying to empower the people around you, uplifting the people around you who grew up in squalor and horrid conditions and shit that nobody should be able to have to ever deal with to make it out, to make a success of themselves. That's what that phrase is used to uplift. But meanwhile, when we say it to white people, because of their own cowardice and fear and understanding of what they've done throughout history, it makes them feel some type of fucking way. That's the shit that pisses me the fuck off, and that's the shit that gets me going, right? I never understand it. I really wish that people would actually take a look at your history, read and understand what is happening, and not just come to your own insecure ass conclusion about these things, right? Like, I mean, also another big trial that's starting here recently that has me a little bit frustrated, a little bit vexed, as the older people would say, is the Ahmaud Arbery trial has started. And there are 12 jurors on the jury, right? 12 jurors on the jury, right? 11 of them are white in one of the blackest counties in Georgia. And they have 11 white jurors. I happen to follow the lawyer who's representing his mom, who's representing Ahmad's side, Lee Merritt. I follow him on Twitter. Yesterday was a very, very heavy day in court because they were talking about details of the state of Ahmad's body afterwards. His arm was almost taken off by a shotgun blast, and he was almost cut in half. And we're supposed to look at these hillbilly heroes that like they want us to look at them like they did something, like they were defending their area, from a young man who was just out jogging, who was just curious about what was going on in the house, something that people do all the time. White people walk up to Black people and grab their hair and talk about your clothing and do all types of crazy shit. And if we defend ourselves from that, we're the problem. But these motherfuckers are supposed to be, we're supposed to be okay with them assuming that he was doing something wrong and them basically mutilating his body. And we're just supposed to pass by it and just be okay with it. This shit it astounds me. It astounds me because there are people that I know who will probably be like, oh, well, what was he doing there? Why would he do that? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That's bullshit.
I'm just even looking at it from the standpoint of this. There's footage of white people going through that house that he went through. There's footage of it. So go and look at that. So if you're going to come over there and hell, even though I think this would be fucked up if they did it, I would even go as far as this. You know what? Maybe you should have called a cop or something like that. If you felt like you was...
He was an ex-cop, so he felt like he was justified.
I'm just saying, but even still, it's just like, what the fuck? And then even with the jury announcement, the judge said it looks like intentional discrimination. But because of the state law doesn't allow him to the state law does not allow him to interfere in it. It's bullshit to me. It's just beyond fucked up. I mean, how do you
as someone who served on jury duty, there's two types of, there's no in between. There's two types of people who serve on jury duty. Those who actually legit want to for some reason, because they have some weird bias and they feel like it's part of their American culture to judge someone, or those who don't want to do it at all and could care less about the trial. And there's in this case, it's clearly the first one, because these people, like, I guarantee they're looking at the killers and they're looking at them like they didn't do anything wrong. They were just defending their land. They were just defending they did. I would have done the same. I guarantee
fucking land.
They would say, I would have done the same thing. Like, yo, like, I already know that. And that one, I'm not even going to judge the one black juror, because it's like 11 white jurors and one black juror. I'm not going to go out and judge him yet, because I don't know him personally. I need to find his Twitter account and maybe see some of the stuff he's posted to see why did he get chosen. Maybe he was maybe affirmative action was the reason. Maybe he looked like one of the good ones to whoever selected the juror. But I'm not going to throw him under the bus just yet, because I don't know anything about him. But I have the feeling that he's one of those, like, I'm a good one. I don't think like that type black dudes. I don't know him, so I could be wrong, but that's the feeling I'm getting. The fact that he was chosen amongst all that. Go ahead, Trey.
And I'm sorry, y'all. All I can think about is my kid and my friends' kids and other little black kids being 17, 18, going for a jog. All I can think about is that. And I've quoted it before. I've said it before. It's impotent rage that I have to fucking live with, that I have to endure on a daily basis, that we all have to endure on a daily basis. That's just it's frustrating. But you're right. We are there. I'm trying to hold it in, but it's like I want to wreck shit. So sorry. Somebody called me while I'm doing the damn show. I do apologize. But it's frustrating. But as far as the jurors on the trial, we've both been we were selected for jury duty at the same time. As a matter of fact, we was in the same place.
We did not know that either.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking to the
we
courthouse,
didn't know that, but
and then I see he drives up. I'm like, Cam. I'm like, yo,
and I'm like,
who's calling me?
Cam, what the hell you come? Where are you going? We're going to the same place. All right, we're going to the same place. But besides the point, as far as jury, they go through a process of eliminating jurors. The prosecution and defense have a chance to cross, and I'm not by any stretch of the means a legal expert, just what I've experienced and what I've learned is that they go through and they can eliminate jurors based on their
own bias,
their either affiliation or their bias to the trial. And how can a black man, woman, or child not be fucking biased to this situation? How could we not be upset or be fucking infuriated by this bullshit? You can't tell that, and like you said, I don't know the individual who's on the trial. I don't know him, and I'm not judging him. But how the fuck can you have anybody in that courtroom looking at this motherfucking situation and not sit there and say, "Oh, fuck you, those two motherfuckers are guilty. They're guilty. Fuck them." That's why we got so many fucking white jurors on that. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Just go ahead.
Well, my whole thing is that
I'm pissed.
My whole thing is that as a black person, when they're doing their jury selection, it's all about how you answer the questions. It's all about how you respond to certain things. So my whole thing is, because I'm a smart nigga, I'm gonna answer the questions the way you want to hear your answers, just so I can land my black ass on that motherfucking jury, so I can say he's guilty.
That part right there.
Well, the thing they always say is it's a jury of your peers.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at who's on trial, it is a jury of their peers. And that's kind of the point I was trying to get at. I probably messed it up, but that was kind of the point I was getting at. It's a jury of your peers. Those are his peers.
And it's how you play the game. It really is. It really is a game at the end of the day. It's like people who get selected for jury duty. I'm only talking about jury. I'm not talking about anything else. If you want to be selected for something to make a change, don't answer the questions the way you think you should be answering the questions as a Black person. Answer the questions in a way that you think a white person wants to hear the answer. And that's how you get your ass on that jury.
I couldn't do it.
I'm be honest with you. I'm be honest with you. We need to become better at playing the game as a whole.
Yeah,
exactly. You gotta play the game.
Right. Like,
if you want to instill change, you got to play their game and you got to use it against them.
We have to we as Black people, we know we're very emotional, right? It's time to swallow the emotion and let's put on that happy face. Let's get into where they don't want us at. Let's make them feel like we're, as Cam said, let's make them feel like we're some of the good ones. And then we turn that motherfucker out. We destroy that bitch from the inside. I'm talking about burn that bitch down. Suck up the emotion. Listen. Sometimes you got to eat a little bit of shit.
You got to put that shelf on. You got to put it on the shelf.
You eat that shit. You eat that shit. Make them think you eat. You eat that shit. Make them think you eating lobster. Then you get in that motherfucker and you spit it right back in their goddamn faces. I promise you. This is where we need to say this.
Y'all absolutely right. Y'all absolutely right. Lil Trey, I love you, son. If anything happens to me, if anything happens to our family, if anything happens to you, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna say it on live air, but you know what the hell you know how I'm gonna carry it. I agree with y'all. We do have to do better. We have to reach to do better. But when you come for me and mine, you come for anybody that's part of mine, just know. Just fucking know. Just fucking know. I'm sorry. This shit is just a lot. This is a lot.
All right,
but
so I'm gonna go ahead and try to move on because these bloodsuckers are like draining us right now. So speaking of bloodsuckers, let's go ahead and run character of the week. Character of the week. Vampires. The mosquitoes of the underworld. No, seriously, vampirism is one of the oldest myths amongst monster lore. Writer Roy Thomas and artist Gil Kane decided to combine their talents and create Morbius, which is today's character week. Morbius, the living vampire. Michael Morbius, born in Greece, had a rare blood disease. He was a biochemist, and when he found out that the disease that he had that's actually going to end up killing him, he was desperate to find a cure for it. One of the things he ended up doing was he took aspects of a vampire bat and some type of electricity and ended up a freak accident and becoming the living vampire. Now, unlike other vampires, he doesn't have the same weaknesses like, wooden stakes to the heart or silver or garlic, issues with daylight, crosses, stuff like that. That doesn't, holy water, none of that effect. He was gifted with the abilities of, let's say, most of the vampire bats. He couldn't fly per se. Well, he allegedly can't fly. His bones were hollowed, so he ended up riding wind currents or gliding or sky gliding. He has sonar and night vision. Also, unfortunately, he has the abilities of a vampire bat to need to feast on blood. Now, he started off as a villain, as an antagonist, because let's be real, no one drinks blood is a good person. At the very beginning, he almost killed his fiance. He did kill his best friend. He tried to kill himself, but then he ended up surviving the drowning. He was saved by sailors, but then at the end of the night, he ended up feasting on them, the entire crew. He needs to feed to live, and he hates that. He ended up having a run-in with Spider-Man, of all people, who at the time was also trying to find a cure for his Spider-Man-ism. Growing two pairs of arms. I guess it was freak accidents going around this time of year. Because comics. He ended up having a run-in with Spider-Man and Kurt Connors and the Lizard upon finding out that something in Morbius's enzyme can cure both of them. So lucky for them. Unlucky for Morbius because, their enzyme can't cure him. So it couldn't be a cultural exchange of enzymes. And anyway, that sounds disgusting. Morbius ended up becoming kind of like a anti-hero in a sense, one of the darker heroes. He teamed up with a couple of monsters of Marvel, all looking for cures for their curses or inflictions, which kind of was like a precursor to one of the other groups that kind of combined a lot of the supernatural, darker elements of Marvel, Midnight Suns. There really wasn't much said about Morbius between the 70s and late 80s, but then in the 90s it was kind of a resurgence and more of a backstory, so he had a old miniseries back then. And he was perfect for the time period, to be honest. That whole dark, broody, anti-hero phase was perfect for a time for someone like Michael Morbius to step out into the light. So there's been a lot of media interest in Michael Morbius too. When Marvel's early 90s or late 90s buy-up of properties was made to be into a film, a lot of studios were interested in the story of Michael Morbius becoming on screen. In fact, there's actually a deleted scene from the first Blade movie that featured Morbius, which could have been like a combined empire. So there was some intersectional stuff back then too. He's been featured in the second Spider-Man iteration with Andrew Garfield. When you look closer, there was a scene where he was going through files and there was a Morbius file there, which leads to what universe he actually lies in. He was also featured in the Fox Kids version of Spider-Man, and of course they couldn't say I drink blood, so they said things like I must feed on plasma. And they couldn't show him biting because, again, censorship. So they showed him with these things on his hands to draw the plasma out. On the surface, that looks like, meh, that doesn't seem as scary. But if you think about it, that's actually 10 times scarier than someone drinking blood when someone like says, I need to feast, and they have like a gang of buttholes on their hands and just to suck some blood out of you. Like, that's just crazy. That is,
What's that? Girl, that's a booty hole.
Most recently, as people seen from the trailer, Jared Leto is going to be playing Morbius. So I have a feeling he's going to kill it. This comic's going to age very well. Back to you guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
They're sucking plasma. So not only are these assholes sucking you, but they're also separating the blood from the other material. Like, what the fuck is, what type of what's the spinny thing called?
What is this photosynthesis?
No, what's
centrifuge?
Yeah. So he's got centrifuge assholes on his hands. That, like, what the fuck is this? Are we back?
See, this is why
That's a booty hole.
Right.
Is that a new way of eating? Oh shit! Is that a new way of eating groceries?
Oh my god!
No.
Yo.
With
No.
Morbius groceries. Wait, with Morbius groceries.
I'm asking for the congregation.
Listen, in the RPG of life, I need that centrifuge tongue upgrade.
Hey, I realize this. Hand ain't this. Hand ain't this.
Okay. All right.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Oh.
No.
We need to break that up.
Yeah, I needed that laugh, but just the thought of, like Fox doesn't need to have creative control over anything ever.
Like they inherently made it worse. I'm telling you, they inherently made it worse. If you just think, like Rick said, wait, you told me
plasma.
Anything separate blood and enzymes and natural resources and moisture and just deal with just straight plasma? Like, do you know how much plasma is actually in blood that you have to draw out to actually sustain an actual meal? Like, you're dead. Like, you're dead.
That's what I'm saying.
So did he pump the blood back into the victim like afterwards? Because that's what they do with your blood. They separate the blood and the plasma and they give you your blood back. So,
right, so
yeah.
I'm just imagining him putting his hands on someone and like a pre-son afterwards. Like, you know?
But where does the excess go? You know, no. So the reason why we went with character of the week as Morbius is because, of course, we had another drop of the Morbius trailer. We had the second trailer to be released. It gave us a little bit more of an insight into the upcoming film. What date is that? December 29th that's coming out, I believe? No, that's Boba Fett.
January.
Sorry. Yes, January. So, has everyone here seen the Morbius trailer?
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
yes.
Yep. I did.
All
I did. I'm
so let's
confused.
go around. Just go around the horn. Give us your thoughts, your feelings, your concerns about this trailer. Let's go with Big Herb first.
I'm just wondering what the hell Tyrese is gonna say that's gonna be
Oh God!
fucking. Yeah.
What more plasma do you want from me?
Or he gets bitten. He says, "I'm hungry. I'm hungry." I'm just trying to fill in the Fast and the Furious tie-ins before you guys came. Just go ahead. But go ahead.
No, I mean it looks like it's gonna be a pretty okay movie. I don't know where they're gonna go with this because it's kind of all over the place, especially seeing that at the end of it, he was like, yeah, I am Venom. No, I'm just playing with you. Like, I mean, it's playing into that. Yeah, I want to know, is this going to tie in with the Venom
Wait,
verse?
you jumping ahead of me, man. You jumping ahead.
Let him go.
Let them get their thoughts about the trailer first, though.
It was in the trailer. So, I mean, I wonder what it's going to be.
Facts,
I mean,
facts.
I thought.
Okay. Mr. Petty.
I gotta give a shout out to Good and Terrible Show. You killed me. Congratulations. I was very confused. I'm probably gonna go a little bit more in depth than I should have. So I'm just gonna say part one, or the first half of your question, is I'm intrigued. Again, I watched most Marvel. I still haven't watched Carnage yet. I'm not gonna lie. I take that back. I haven't watched Carnage yet. But I would probably watch. I probably would watch. Watch Morbius. Even with Jared Leto in it, because he's. Oh God, it's Jared Leto. Like half the time he thinks he's Jesus, and now he's playing a vampire. So it's like.
I feel like Jared Leto is going to do a much better job at freaking being Morbius than he ever did playing the Joker.
Facts.
So
he's not a juggalo.
So that was my thoughts. Like, I was more convinced that he was Morbius in this trailer than I ever was of the travesty that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about more. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about seeing him and Blade together. I know that wasn't the question, but it's coming. I don't care what nobody say.
Like throwing spoilers out there, don't you? You just like spoiling shit.
Not a spoiler if you read.
Her whole thing is surprise, shorty.
It's not a surprise. It's not a spoiler if you know what you're talking about. This is not being spoiled at all. I'm just saying. My nerdness is showing. Just skip me for the rest of the question. Somebody else.
Because I'm about to get into some in-depth shit in a second.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So, excuse you. So, I enjoyed the trailer. I especially enjoyed it after they get to the part where he makes the transformation and he has the word bloodsucker tattooed across his forehead. And then I also thoroughly enjoyed the part of the trailer before he's about to bite that guy, and he goes, "I just want to get a big chunka." Like, I really enjoyed that. I like his portrayal as Morbius. It looks like it's going to be very entertaining. I always enjoy all of Jared Leto's works. It just looks like another fantastic journey into something weird and something fantastic.
Shut up. Shut the hell up. Okay. All right.
You lost me at that. I always enjoyed all of his work.
So I agree. I did enjoy the actual trailer. I thought it was very intriguing, like Mr. Petty said. I'm looking forward to seeing his performance, contrary to what Ms. Rita said. I think that this is he does fit the build. He does. Okay, fair enough. He does, in my opinion, he does fit the build of Morbius. I think that's perfect casting in this case. And I'm looking forward to it. So I did enjoy the trailer. I like what they've revealed so far, especially tie-in certain like such as like Michael Keaton, who is Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. Now that leads me into the next line of questioning, because if you don't know, the Vulture is from the MCU, notably a villain of who? Spider-Man, who's played by Tom Holland. Now, we have also had references, we've also had references to Venom in the trailer, who is notably a Sony character. Now, if you've watched Maximum Carnage, you know the end credit scene. If you haven't seen it, spoilers. Venom gets transferred over into the MCU, allegedly, apparently. Something is going on with the multiverse where things are becoming entwined and becoming interjected. But that leads me to question, believe, how did Michael Keaton's character know about Morbius? Because it seems as though they have a little bit familiarity. Sorry, I couldn't say it. Yeah, I fucked that all up. Trace words, put it on the wall. There you go. But they seem like they're familiar with one another. So, do you guys think that Morbius is taking place in the MCU or the Sonyverse? Go. Big Herb, you're first.
You went first.
MCU. It's got
Introductions order is the way we do this thing. Big Herb first.
I forgot my introduction.
You're after Mr. Petty.
You're after me.
I think it's part of the MCU. I mean, there's no way in hell that you have a MCU character in the Sony verse, and then you go ahead and have Spider-Man's murderer on there. And then you have, hey,
Spider-Man's murderer?
If you looked on the wall,
Spider-Man as a murderer?
Listen, 10 years ago when the trailer came out last week, that's what they had on it.
Go, Big Herb. Go ahead.
But no, I think this is going to all tie into the MCU eventually. I don't know how Marvel and Sony got this whole-entire deal together as far as just all over the place. I think it's going to be part of the MCU. It's just my prediction. Cam.
Mr. Petty.
This is why y'all gotta pay attention to some of my characters a week. I mentioned that not only did is Morbius tied in with Sony, because you saw him with Toombs, Michael Keaton's character. Not only did you see him talk about Venom, but in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Harry Osborn, when he was going through files, there was a file that specifically said Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also if you look at the trailer, there's a building that says Oscorp. So I feel like maybe if according to if my multiverse theory is correct, a lot of the not the variants, what was it? Time signature, the timeline convergence signature, whatever the anomalies are called. Mm-hmm. I feel like Morbius may be one of them, or maybe Morbius may be a part of something that is combining 2 or 3 universes into one. And Morbius is unknown because in his world, both Andrew Garfield and apparently Tom Holland exist, or he has memories of both worlds and combined into one. Because I'm just saying, like I feel like there's a combination of all 3 in Morbius, so he could be a link to all 3. Because also, as I mentioned before, he has a tie-in with some of the other mystical things of the MCU, such as Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange, Mephisto, like all these other stuff. He is in tune. He's in tune with like all of these like mystical versions of it. Which also, in my opinion, I think something we were supposed to mention last week. I feel like if there was a version or something or subject that it could make Marvel into a horror film, Morbius would have been a good one. Especially with
I feel like that's the path they're going down. Just to piggyback, I feel like they are going to start releasing more of the horror type direction for MCU. I feel like that's where they're getting ready to go, gearing up for all of these different things. So I agree with you on that. So in addition to that, I feel like Morbius was on this FNX Fit, because he was definitely struggling on them crutches. And then, he got put in that cave, and the bats was infused with FNX Fit. And now he got his body right.
He's been by a steroid bat from FNX Fit.
His body is right. And
got his gains.
So yeah, that FNX Fit, he's still struggling on the beard, though. That beard is not quite bearding the way that we needed the beard. Yeah. And so, you need to get that beard struggle. I don't know none of the promo codes, so don't ask me shit. But
so for future reference, y'all, if y'all don't know any of the promo codes, what you can do is you can go on blerdsandwhiskey.com. You can go to our partners page. You can click on either Beer Struggle or FNX Fit, whichever you want. If you're trying to get your games and you go to FNX Fit, you're trying to get your beard games, you go to Beer Struggle. But you can look at the promo codes, because Blerds 1 is the Beard Struggle one, and FNX Blerds 1-3 is our FNX Fit. So Yeah, you can pick either codes, but I'm guaranteeing you're gonna get 15% off, which is a lot more than what Morbius got because all he had was like a little goatee soul patch thing going on, you know, on his little chin. So he probably got the sample pack from Beer Struggle and thought, all right, that's cool. I'm good with this. I'm good with this. So the living vampire didn't really get his beard game going on.
So what scent do you think he has in his?
Odin's Venture.
Nah, he's definitely got
No, you're all wrong. You're all wrong.
Butthole plasma.
Nothing other than, damn it, he beat me to it. You motherfucker. I was going to say it.
God, that's a booty hole.
So. So go ahead and get yours. My favorite, of course, is Valkyrie's Oud. So that's my favorite. I get no complaints about that one. Smells the best to me. But yes, so shit. I didn't realize what time it was. Fuck. Do we? Fuck it. We're gonna do it live.
Both of those in together.
Yes, you did. Good job. We appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you. I think we should save. So yes, we were supposed. What did everybody give their thoughts about Morbius?
Yeah. No,
Rick didn't.
I
sorry.
Didn't say anything.
Go ahead. That's why I asked the question.
It's just
Rich
fuck me, right?
Please, no. That's why I asked. Shut up and just tell your fucking side. As you eat your damn breakfast.
I'm not eating my breakfast. It's a vodka icy. So now, so what I'm gonna say is, I think Morbius is going to take place in the University of Bang Bros, because you know, like Jared Leto has the what?
Yeah.
I'm saying, like they got him with the he got the long-ish hair. He keeps he has his shirt off randomly for no reason. They're gonna do the plasma butthole suckers.
Down to it.
All right, so yeah.
Fuck those who don't do it.
We'll talk about Eternals next week. But let's get up out of here. We all need something to eat after this episode.
Like there's strive up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drink,
motherfucker, drink. And we out.
Butthole plasma.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blerds and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blerdsandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.